Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. Today we are back on the Updates Directed Dev server, and it's time to have a look at the new helicopter that is coming into the game. This is the YAH-64, and it's one of those that, well, we've known about for a very long time, but still has taken a long time to come to the game. The first time it was heard about was about a year and a half ago maybe, and it actually got leaked by accident on one of the console stores. They were actually setting up a promotion for the A129, the Italian aircraft, and they by accident used pictures of the YAH instead. If you don't know what the YAH-64 is, it is a Apache, but it is a pre-production Apache or a prototype one. The major differences between it and the current Apaches we have in game is the T-tail that you can see here, and obviously other factors such as weaponry and general characteristics. This also is a squadron vehicle, and since it's a squadron vehicle, this is the first helicopter squadron vehicle that we have, and that's pretty cool. You know, we haven't had a ton of event vehicles for helicopters, only really the H-34, so to see the first squadron vehicle, that's pretty awesome, and hopefully it's the first of many to try and get people into the helicopter gameplay. It is a rank 6 battle rating 10.0 vehicle, and it is powered by two of the General Electric T700s. It has 1703 horsepower each, then obviously the transmission in the center, and the rest of it is made out of fuel. It does have the flexible turret, which of course is this bit here. It's a 30mm M230E1, has a good fire rate, puts out a lot of damage when you let it, the good old chain gun. And also you have the gunner and the pilot. You can see here that for turret sights there is CCIP for the cannon sights and the rocket sights. It does have an RWR on it. It has a LWR as well, so a laser warning receiver, so you can see if somebody is targeting you. And also it has an LWS as well. So it doesn't have access to everything that other helicopters have, but it has access to a lot of them. Now, when you look at the standard armaments for this thing, the modifications are the Hellfires. So you've got the AGM-114s and then the AGM-1142s. This basically means that you can carry a total of 16 once you get the two modifications. The opening or the stock setup for this thing is just a bunch of Hydras. Hydras do pen quite a lot, so maybe it can be used as kind of a rush aircraft when it goes into battle, especially in ground realistic. But once you get those Hellfires, obviously Hellfires have a pretty decent distance that they can be fired from, and also pen a ridiculous amount, meaning that you can just bury targets when you feel like it. And the chain gun, when getting close against soft target stuff, should work very well, but that's more about unit specific stuff instead of you know, what your capabilities are. This is the standard skin on it, and it's the only skin you get. It does have the yellow markers on it, which I think is really nice. And also at the same time, for this helicopter, it is the only one which has been announced so far for this update. So the only other things we've had is updated models when it comes to the cockpits, but unfortunately this thing doesn't get one. It doesn't actually have access to one. One of the major things this thing is missing compared to a lot of the other high-tier helicopters is a ability to defend itself. It has no air-to-air missiles. It also has no well, countermeasures. It has no flares, it has no chaff, it has nothing like that. So it's very much a aggressive machine. It's one which is going to stay low to the ground, probably around about here, and then it can be used to be able to attack targets from afar and be able to pop them pretty aggressively, or at least attempt to be. You know, you have this T-62 here, you know, where about 2,600 meters away, and then you can just fire, you know, Hellfires at it. Up and down they go, Sometimes the Hellfires can be a little bit pedantic and they don't want to work. They're great against stationary targets, but against targets that move. So for this Tunguska, for example, if we fire one at it, and we'll just turn the machine, you can see that sometimes they'll just miss wildly. You saw that one over there, just wasn't feeling it at all. And then this one should probably go over as well. So they're not very good against targets which actually do move. You do have to target them yourself, otherwise they're just not going to hit. So that's a problem that's been around with the Hellfires for a while. So it's sometimes better just to do it by yourself to be able to move in. And while you're here, you know, you can hover or you can go up and down. You can do pretty much whatever you want when it comes to these things. The main thing is to understand that you are not you're not invincible when it comes to helicopters, and at the same time staying low to the ground. And if your LWR starts going off, or your RWR, might be worth trying to move, you know, trying to dodge, try and get close to the ground to try and stay away from whatever's going on. It does have the targeting thing as well, so along with like this, if you target something like that, it will show up in the third person view. This means that your gun can actually fire on top of it as well. So you can see my rounds are going over there. They're not necessarily hitting, because obviously there is an accuracy thing going on, but you know, a few of them will hit. And you can do some pretty good damage with the chain gun and have a bit of fun with it. Hopefully, if this is the first machine that people get, if they're looking to get helicopters, I think it's a pretty good one. You know, having access to Hellfires is always nice. And also at the same time, when it comes to a machine like this, it's one of those which will give you kind of a taste of what high-tier helicopters are like, but not giving you the complete power of them. There are a few very meta helicopters in the game. They work insanely well, and they are really annoying to fight, is probably the best way to put it. There are some of those things which are good at pretty much everything, and yes, Hellfires can be used as an anti-plane thing if you want to. It's probably not the best idea, but you can do it if you feel like it, as you can see. But yeah, who needs air to air missiles? But the fact is, when it comes to many of the helicopters that are in game, they're not really that useful. A lot of them struggle from different aspects, but some of them are incredibly good. You know, the highest echelon machines are generally pretty nice, and then at the same time there are some starter ones which are pretty decent as well, but have a very, very specific playstyle. So something like this as a vehicle will generally give you a slightly different playstyle to the starter helicopters, and also to helicopters which are top tier. They'll actually mean that you have to work to get kills instead of just doing stuff which is stupidly simple. And even though you don't have a cockpit fully done, I'm sure eventually it will come. We just got a lot of the Cobras updated, and also we got the SAs updated too. So I'm sure in time this thing will get a proper cockpit, and it'll be really nice to see. It does have the screen working already, so if you are in sim, or you are a person who really enjoys VR, then you know, you can use that, use this thing in that way. And also, when it comes to other facts, you know, you can use it for a rocket barrage if you feel like, or if you really want to get immersed in the game, it's something that you can do. I really doubt these Hellfires are going to hit. Yeah, they don't like tracking from this distance, but also, you know, the lock lost. But yeah, I'm happy to see this. Hopefully it's one of many. Hopefully we see more squadron vehicle helicopters, just to try and get some more people into them so they can enjoy them. And I think this is the perfect one to do that, thanks to, you know, its pre-production status and not being crazy, crazy good. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. I'd like to thank BRFC, Swollen Ostrich, Teddy, John Ryman, Universe, Conte Baraka, Eugens Terry, Ambrosius McClellan, Daniel Stanton, Martinez, B. Young, Lafouche, Bareen and Samuel Schlick for supporting the channel.